We're live. Hey, what is it? Monday? It is Monday, June 9th. Man, my days are all out of whack. Holy crap. Obviously, you all know me, Jason, over at Torque.dev, community manager, and I am super stoked to have one of my OG friends on socials when I got into the whole tech scene. My man, the mentor, the friend, also just all around really decent dude. Lawrence, hey. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
You've never seen me in a family squabble. God bless you. God bless you. He said decent dude. What's going on, everybody? So happy to be on the stream. Before I introduce myself, shout out to Jason for finally getting me on his pod because he works with this guy named Taylor. And I've been on Taylor's pod 3 times, but Jason, no invites.
Oh, that is so not true.
Even this one's not about me. This one's about Render.
Wow. Wow. All right. Well, note to self, let's make that happen.
Fun fact, Jason was the first person I saw and the last person I saw at Render last year. So he holds a special place in the heart. Hey, everybody. Glad you joined the stream today, joined the live. I am Lawrence Lockhart, also known as Lawrence Decodes on pretty much all platforms. I'm a senior developer advocate at a company called Be Free. We specialize in email content creation, both from the perspective of our standalone app, as well as the part that really gets me going, which is our embeddable SDK that you can embed right in your SaaS application. You should definitely check out Be Free. Follow us on Twitter. But today, we're happy to talk about this thing called RenderATL. This is RenderATL week and conferences in general, but especially RenderATL because it holds a special place in my heart. And I would love to tell my history of Render in just a minute, but I'll stop now.
Absolutely. Take a breath. Thank you so much for being here. We have to do another stream. Actually, I now have 2 streams I want to do with you because I want you to definitely at some point talk us through setting up some of Be Free's services. I feel like that would be an awesome demo. And then also just hear about your journey, which I love hearing. And you were the first and last person, one of the first and last people I saw from Render last year, which made it really special for me because it was my first conference. And then seeing somebody
that was your first. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. And I ran into you in the airport.
Yep.
Baggage claim.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We saw somebody else down there too. I can't remember.
Hey, Jawan the techie.
Yes, Jawan, that's right. He was a great dude. I would love to hear why Render is important to you just as a conference. And I know you've gone to lots of conferences, so why does Render
one or two?
Yeah, just a couple.
Yeah, man. So my first Render was, I missed the first year, which I guess was 2021. So my first was in 2022. I was a scholarship recipient. So I clicked on a random link I saw on the internet. Do not advise. But in this case, the link was legit, and they were giving away tickets to RenderATL in exchange just for a little social promotion, right? Hey, repost this, I live on social media anyway. Why not? And I got a free ticket to RenderATL. Flew out here at no expense whatsoever. They greeted us with an opening brunch and a mixer and everything. We heard from Justin, some of the sponsors, and so had an absolute time. And fun fact, love Justin Samuels, the founder. I love his vision. We share the same college background, so he went to Mississippi State, Hale State.
Nice.
So he is a fellow alum. But seeing his vision and seeing him carry that vision out, that inspired me. That really, really inspired me. And then from a very, very personal perspective, as you may know, I've had 2 chances at this whole tech career thing. So there was the young stage where I blew it. And there's this older stage where I'm doing very well. But fun fact, in the younger stage, when I was just a freshman in college, that summer, I went to my first tech conference. This is a long time ago. I won't even tell you the year. And it was called NSBE, N-S-B-E, the National Society of Black Engineers. And I'm coming from a school that was a PWI, so not a lot of brown bodies and black bodies there. And to go to a conference and there's this sea of brilliant black minds as well as other minds as well. That was like, wow, what is this place? And I'll tell you when it was. It was 1990.
Wow.
I'll tell you. And it was in Orlando, Florida. And I was so poor that the offsite that they had at Disney World, I couldn't go. All I could do was just this conference. I haven't had that feeling since 1990 of seeing a ton of black and brown bodies who are brilliant, interacting with everybody else in one place. And I had that feeling again in June of 2022 at RenderATL.
Nice.
Because it was Black founded and Black run, and just the culture. I think the opening byline was culture and collard greens, or code and collard greens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Everybody's welcome, and everybody gets in there and enjoys and sees, you know what, this pot is for all of us. I was hooked. I'm like, I'm always going to Render. There's a few others that, you know, are of note, but Render was just special. And it's down south too. And I'm a Southern based guy for the most part, beyond being born in California many moons ago. They don't claim me anymore. It's a Southern tech, blackish, but everybody else too thing. And I loved it. So that was the first year, 2022. Second year, my good man, Anthony D. Mays, former Google engineer, current mentor to all of us on all things, but especially technical interview prep. He hit me up because I've been doing my networking. We'll get into that. And he was like, hey, I'm speaking at Render as a panel. Would you like to speak with me next year?
Wow.
To which I said, no, I'm good. Like, no, you lied. Let's go. But now I'm a speaker at RenderATL 2023. I'm up there on the stage with my man who I look up to. I stumbled through all my answers. I was just in awe just to be on the stage, but to be on the stage with my guy. Like, that's my mentor. You talk about me being a mentor. That's my guy. I watch, bless you. I watch his every move and a few other people and see how they navigate this space to figure out how can I apply some of that in my life. So that was an amazing experience with 2023, which also meant another paid ticket. So shout out to that. That was 2023. 2024, really special. I signed up to be an ambassador. And so now a person who's going to actually represent RenderATL to the rest of the world. And there's a lot of ambassadors who all do it in different ways. Mine was socials, right? I'm all about the socials. So I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Instagram, and I'm on YouTube and TikTok, just talking about Render incessantly because I love that place. I love it here, literally. So I was an ambassador, which means I got a free ticket, but I also had another free ticket. So I brought my wife. You probably met my wife. Yep. So I had my little buddy to tag around all over the place. And she's like, what does that mean? And what does this mean? But it didn't matter because I had me a buddy. And so that was last year. I was an official Render ambassador, representing a conference that I love absolutely so much. And I think one of the reasons I signed up to be an ambassador is because, like any event, there's going to be a wide variety of experiences, right? And I love it enough. I love it enough where I want people to get the absolute most out of it. And when I see people not having a good time or not getting the most out of their money or someone else's money, I want to help. I'm like, I want to help. I want to help any way that I can. And so even this year, right, I'm paying my own way. I think I got my company to sponsor it later. But even this year, you'll see me very, very vocal about Render on my Twitter, on my TikTok, in the Discord, just hyping it up, not just from a marketing perspective, but I want people to have a great time. It's a super, super unique event. And there are certain things that you can do that are applicable anywhere, but definitely something that you can do at Render to help make sure you get the most out of your experience. And so when you said about doing this together, I'm like, of course, let's go. Let's go.
Absolutely. Wow. I love that. Take a breath. Because you just dropped a ton of info on everything.
That's just the intro. I've had my coffee, and this is part 2. Let's go.
Let's go. He is ready. I love Amp Lawrence right now. So that first year as an ambassador, like, what was
year was scholarship winner,
or your first year as an ambassador?
Okay, yeah.
How did the energy or like your experience shift? Because when you got the scholarship, you're just going kind of as a regular attendee, but now you're an ambassador. So like, what were some of the things you prioritize as an ambassador when you went this time?
Yeah, that's interesting. So the way that I planned for Render didn't change, but when I got there, everything changed because I'm now more concerned about others. I'm embodying that DevRel type empathy. I'm concerned about others' experience. And so I'm trying to make myself available like in a really formal way and like make sure I'm talking to people and shaking hands and doing the things to help people feel comfortable purposefully. Because I'm wearing the badge. Like I'm wearing my badge.
Literally wearing it. I saw that.
Because I haven't made it to Atlanta yet. So I got to rep my last year gear. Welcome everybody from last year's gear. But I just have a lot of intentionality, Jason, to be honest, about making sure I can just touch people if they want to say hi, take a selfie, whatever it is. If that's the moment that they need, to give them that moment. So it really wasn't so much about me last year, though I still got tons of benefit because of the way that I planned, and I'm sure we'll get into that later.
Oh, yeah. And I want to kind of touch on like the different degrees of attendee, because I think that there are different types of people that attend these types of events. Maybe
wait. Shout out to Roxy. Get loads of hand sanitizer.
Yo,
unhinged. Your
chat
is unhinged.
Taylor can attest to this. When we were down at Talentland and I shook and fist bumped probably like 10,000 hands. I
Oh my
have
God.
never been through that much hand sanitizer.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot.
So sweaty. It was not cool. So I doubled down on the hand
But how do you
sanitizer.
sanitize your whole body? Because I was just getting hugged. Like, so that, so leading into render, I had my top mate open and I was doing a ton of Twitter spaces helping people in their careers, and it was working. So I got to render and it was like, Lawrence. I was literally unembracing from one hug and another person tapped me on the shoulder for another. So I'm not sure how to sanitize your entire body. Like, that's another stream, but
we just shower full of hand sanitizer. So back to the
question.
I think like you have the people that are looking for roles. You have the people that are attending as speakers. You have people that are attending as a sponsor. Their company is there, some sort of a vendor. So there's a lot of different levels. Like, I guess let's start from just an attendee that maybe is looking for a role.
Yep.
Like you've been in that position, correct?
Absolutely. Looking for a role, not per se. Mine was most of maximizing my learning. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How would you start to structure the days before? And I mean, this again, people can reflect on this for the next opportunity at a conference, but
absolutely
got a couple days before the event starts. How are you structuring how you're going into it?
Yeah. And so this will probably bleed over into some other questions too. I think about it in terms of 3 umbrellas, if we could kind of just categorize it.
Yeah.
Maximize your planning, maximize your learning, maximize your networking, right? Now, the easy answer, I can say this in one sentence and we can just turn off the stream. The easy answer is freaking just do you. Just because if I try to really do it the way Jason, you're not Justin, you're Jason, the way that Jason does it, it probably won't match quite right. Because like you said, we have different intentions, we have different levels, we're there for different things. The way we interact with people is different, our energy levels are different. You might be energized by a lot of people interaction, whereas I'm completely drained by a lot of people interaction. So we have differences, but you can absolutely do you and succeed. So to your question, maximize your planning, right? This is going to be the first little umbrella. I am a huge advocate for scheduling things. And I know that's not everybody's cup of tea. Like there's people that say, hey, if you go to Disney World, right, just go and just wing it, just figure it out. For me, I'm not at a money level where I can just figure it out and feel like I'm going to get my best experience. I'm really going to hit certain rides. We're going to get the fast pass or whatever they're calling it, the genie, and we're going to make it on a certain ride so that our experience feels complete. Now, if there's some optional things in there that we kind of just slip in, great. But there's going to be some absolute must. So I always suggest to people, create your schedule. I don't care. I use a Google Sheet. Like Render has an app. I highly suggest people use the app. App is very well built, but I use a Google Sheet. And that way I can put every session that I want to go to. The optional ones, I'll leave in normal text. The ones who are my absolute must, I'll put in bold. And every day will only have about 1 or 2 bold. Okay. And I have that scheduled. But also, I'm meeting this person on Thursday for lunch, and I'm meeting this person at dinner. So I'll put that on my Google Sheet. And then I'm going to this event, and this event isn't on the app because I got a private invite. And so I maximize my planning by putting everything I want to do in one place. And I make that Google Sheet available on my iPhone. So at any given time, I don't care what time it is, if I just left the expo hall, I'm like, what's next? I always, go to my sheet and see what's next, and then make an in-person real-time decision. Do I really want to do that? Or do I want to hang out some more? As long as it's not bold, I can do whatever I want to do because I've already decided to maximize my learning. I just need to hit these, right? That's very important. Monitoring your channel. So Render has the Discord, which I highly, highly, highly suggest people get into. So many questions and answers and information going on in the Discord. Monitor the Discord. Monitor the Twitter. A great thing to do right now. Anybody go into Render and they're a little unsure, just type in the search bar RenderATL without the @ and without the hashtag. And then when you get all the results, organize it by latest. What you'll see is everyone who is currently talking about Render, whether they tagged it or use it as a hashtag. And even if they have the 2025 or not, because it's a fuzzy search, it'll pull up all the conversation. In some of those conversations, you'll find people saying things that are interesting to you. Interesting enough where you can say, that's interesting. I'd like to join you. And now you got a buddy, if they're not a butthole, but now you got a buddy to go to the thing with, and you're not alone anymore, because one of the worst things in the world is to be surrounded by 6,000 to 7,000 people and feel alone. That's a horrible feeling. And so you pregame that. And I'll talk more about networking in a minute. This is about planning. So you plan your schedule, 1 or 2 must-dos every day, okay? A couple of optionals, You monitor all the channels, monitor the Discord, get in the Discord, start having conversations, monitor the Twitter page, do a search, just periodically do a search for RenderATL, no hashtag and no @ right? And just hit enter and then organize, because it's going to show top first, reorganize it by latest, and you can see current conversations about the thing that you're going to. And stay healthy, right? So plan to stay healthy. Think comfortable walking shoes. I know everybody wants to be cute, like Render's like part-time fashion show. That's why I'm still not sure how I'm going to fit all this in this suitcase. I'll probably bring a suitcase. I probably want to bring a suitcase and my carry-on, which is crazy for 3 days, because I've been through a week in Finland on a carry-on and a backpack. But this is Render.
It's
nevertheless,
it's the big show.
Comfortable walking shoes are a must, because on certain days you might not want to go to the food truck for lunch. You might want to walk up to Peachtree and have lunch, or go somewhere else. And so comfortable walking shoes, a must. Stay hydrated, a must. Get your sleep, a must. This is part of the planning process, because going in dehydrated with uncomfortable shoes, you got on high heels trying to be cute. Don't wear your high heels, Jason.
I will try not to.
Dehydrated, you're already frustrated. And so now the opportunities to connect with people, to learn, you are not at your best. And so you will not receive because you don't have anything to give. Fill your own tank first. That's part of the planning process at all levels that you might approach your conference.
Wow.
That's part one.
That was part one. Let's all just kind of take that part in. I feel like anybody that has specific questions about that one,
I said bring Crocs.
Yeah.
Oh, no Crocs.
I own all of them for you.
Are Crocs really comfortable?
Oh, yeah. See, you know what it is? Open toe box. They don't have the narrow toe.
But I always feel like they're like fancy flip-flops. I'm going to have to kind of do my foot like that to make them come up and not do that little flat motion, because I don't want to sound like a kid walking around all day. Like,
oh, no. I don't even have that problem. Trust me. But I love Crocs. But that's another, we'll do another stream on that.
Another stream on Crocs. That's 4 streams, man. You're going to beat Taylor any day now.
Let's talk about just again, as far as like preparation, how do you decide in a situation like this where there is bam, 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 back to back, staggered, overlapping events? Like, how do you make that choice? How do you decide, like, this is what I want to be at 10 o'clock when there's 5 other things at that time?
Yeah, great question. So let's talk about the sessions first of all, right? I think, again, you should star some must-see sessions and then just have some options. Now, from the must-see, make sure you're getting something that you can take back to work. Many of us need to show value for this conference back at the workplace. Don't forget that part, right? Because Render's a really, really, really fun time. But particularly if your company sponsored you, there wants a return on that money. This is not just for you to feel good. This is not a paid vacation. This is a learning opportunity. So somewhere within the realm of your current or future work, be sure you're starring something, liking something, adding something to the calendar that directly responds to what you do or want to do. That's not a hard choice, right? It's really not. But also, don't limit yourself to that. So if you are currently like all heads down into LLM integrations in the Gemini platform with Vertex AI and Gemini 2.5 Pro and Google AI Studio, and that is your entire world, don't go to all Gemini talks, right? Because that's going to be the breadth, that's going to be the depth, but you have no breadth. Conferences like this, like Render, are a great place to build your T-shape all in a week. We talk about the T-shape all the time, right?
Yeah.
The breadth of learning versus the depth. And so a certain amount of depth to get immediately what you're working on, what you can use, what you can implement the next week. Like I went to Adam Racket's TypeScript workshop last year. And when I got back to my job the very next week, because we were building things in React and we use a TypeScript-based React, I used some of what I learned the very next week. That's immediate return. But I also went to just some far-off stuff, some stuff I didn't know what it was, to help expand the cream a little bit. So this is to your question, how to plan. Plan deep, but also wide. And when you get there, by the way, learn again how to take notes. Some of us are like a year or two from college, like me, right? Just been out of college for a year or two. You don't want to just transcribe the slides. What you want to do is, if you can kind of be in what's called uptime, I don't want to get too ethereal, but if you can kind of be in uptime while the speaker is speaking and they're presenting their information, when you have an insight into what they're saying, write down your insight. Write down your insight, because if you're doing your due diligence and you follow the speaker, if I went to go hear Jason, and Jason's going to talk about the latest developments with Angular and partial hydration and whatever else, right?
Normal stuff.
I'm going to follow Jason and hopefully interact with Jason later down the road. And I can ask him questions about some of the direct things. But what I want to dig deeper into away from the conference is, what insights did I have, or what questions did I have? Or maybe if you have like me, like either an iPad or if you're analog, you always keep a notebook. At the back of your notebook, just put a one-liner that says New Tech. So you're taking your main notes up front, but anything you've never heard of before, just put it under that label of New Tech. So these would be things to research when you get back home. That's part of that planning process. And definitely ask, thoughtful questions if there is a Q&A. Sometimes speakers will entertain those afterwards. Sometimes they're absolutely drained. So kind of just navigate that based on their emotions and how things are going. If it's a line of like 10 people, don't be number 11. Like, let them go get some water. But I plan for a level of depth as well as breadth.
I think that's really a smart way of doing it. You mentioned a notebook. You mentioned the iPad. Somebody actually asked if they should bring their laptop. Let's talk about again, back to sort of circling back to the preparation. Let's talk about like those types of things to pack. Are you bringing a laptop? Do you plan to work? And again, it's all contextual to each person, obviously, but like what's in Lawrence's toolkit that you bring to make sure that you are prepared for everything?
I'm not a good example. I'll be bringing way. I know I'm bringing my work laptop. Excuse me. I know I'm bringing my work laptop, even though I'm quote unquote off. There's at least one thing I want to get done during Wednesday through Friday. And I know I can find some downtime to do it. So that's where I'm bringing my work laptop. I'm bringing my personal laptop because I have found there are instances, again, where I have on-the-spot learnings and I get back to the hotel room and I want to iterate on some stuff, like in code.
Yeah.
And or I might partner up with somebody because this is part of the networking too. And we might sit down, particularly with vibe coding being such a thing and dealing with so many experienced developers, we might sit down and hack something out in person. And there's hackathons. So yes, absolutely. Bring your personal laptop. It was a really big hackathon last year. It was a big deal.
That's right.
I forgot what they won. But yes, bring your personal laptop. And in whatever way you're comfortable taking notes. I'm analog. I will pen and paper you to death. Some people cannot stand pen and paper. That's fine. You don't have to do me. Just do you. Just make sure you don't come to Render for an entire week hearing from the best speakers and most technical subject matter experts in the world and then go home and have nothing to show for it. Just make sure you don't do that. Whatever it takes. If you want to take the little voice recorder thingy, if that works for you, do that. If it's an iPad, if it's pen and paper, figure out your own method. Hopefully you don't have to figure it out. Hopefully you already know how you contain information. I know me. I'm pencil and paper. It activates more neurons when you're writing anyway. That's scientifically proven. I have it tangible. And typically I write. It's so funny. I'll typically write my notes really, really like chicken scratch because I have a horrible handwriting. But then when I come back home, I always rewrite them. So now I've had three modalities of information, both the speaker's presentation, my initial writing, and the second writing, which means it's actually sinking down into learning centers of the brain.
Awesome. I love that.
I bring mics and cameras and 2 or 3 phones and way too much. Water bottle.
Well, let's talk about that. What is the goal, or like what's your objective with all of the cameras and everything? I think content is important. Especially when it comes to networking or just like being in places like that, building and learning in public. So how do you approach that when you go to events like this?
I only capture content because sharing content is part of who I am. If it wasn't part of who I am, I wouldn't. And so we might differ a little bit on this. I'm not a person who's like, all 4,000 or 5,000 of you need to have your phones out and cameras out trying to capture everything all day. Because if that's not part of your world already and you're not deriving benefit, I would much rather they be more focused and in the moment. It's just like in church. Like I take film and stuff from church all the time because I want people to know that I go to church. That's like the word is part of who I am. That's part of my brand. And I expound that. For other people, that would distract them from the message. I've learned to navigate it. So I wouldn't suggest people start doing something brand new because it's all about content now. It's actually not. If that's not who you are, if that doesn't serve your purpose, it goes down to the fundamentals. What is your purpose? My purpose in attending, yes, is to learn, yes, is to network, but also to broadcast RenderATL and to broadcast the time we have, because I'm thinking about next year, there'll be content from this year that encourages somebody to attend. That helps the growth of the conference. That goes back to what I said the first time, how much I love the conference, love my man Justin, and want to see this always grow and flourish. So that serves my needs. If it doesn't serve your needs, don't do the thing, right? It's just like tech advice. I'm not sending somebody off to go learn, and get a bunch of cloud certs, and they're trying to become an email developer. That doesn't serve your needs.
No.
But I thought cloud certs were popular. Cloud certs are popular for
They
cloud
are.
engineers.
Yeah.
There is a purpose. There is a
Yeah.
desired end. So that's why my approach to content and cameras and phones and everything else, what is the actual need? And so that kind of goes to a point you're probably about to ask. I'll go ahead and answer the question. Come with goals before you get here. Everybody should have goals. And my goals don't have to be yours. You don't have, but don't come with no goals and then leave upset that nothing got done. Right. That would be like a football team going to the football field or a basketball team going to the basketball court with no plays, and then mad because they lost. You need some plays.
Yeah.
Right. So I would suggest have a goal for learning and a goal for networking. We have a whole, how much time we got?
Oh, we're great. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll
spend a lot of time on networking, but have a goal for learning and a goal for networking. Right. So an easy goal for learning would be, I will leave here with at least one thing I can implement in my job next week. And I will leave here with at least one topic area that I learned about that I didn't know about before, but intrigues me. That's an easy one, right? That's you don't need a Notion document for that. You can just burn that in your brain right now. I will learn one thing that I can use in my job next week or in my future job, right? Maybe I'm unemployed. Maybe I'm working on my first job in tech. I will learn one thing I can use in my current or future job, and I will learn one thing that just stretches me a little bit. It intrigues me. It makes me want to dig more. Now, if you do more than that, home run.
Yeah.
If you haven't set the bar like I'm going to learn like 15 things and 13 fundamentals of React and 12 of Angular and all this, and then you come home disappointed. Set reasonable, smart goals, right? Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based. So realistic goals. Set smart learning goals, but also smart networking goals. I'm going to initiate one conversation every day. For some people, that's a lot. For me, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And I tweeted this earlier because I am a combination of awkward, weird, introverted, meaning extended people time drains me. I love being around people for short amount of time. We'll talk about that some more too.
Yeah.
But I'm introverted, but I'm also shy. There's also this thing of what do they think, how they're going to perceive me. But I go through all these questions and I don't want to really say anything. I have to break through that. It's like James Quick always says, sometimes you have to make yourself do the thing you don't want to do so you can enjoy what you do want to get out of it. So I have to break out of that. And so an easy goal is I will initiate one conversation a day. If you're there for 3 days, that's only 3 conversations. You do 3 conversations, that might be more than you've done in the last month because you work from home and it's just you in your bedroom. So you go to Walmart and Kroger and Publix and then that's it. 3 would be awesome for a week. Now, if you do one and it feels good and you maybe make a buddy and another person comes in, maybe challenge yourself. All right, I did my 1. Can I make it 2? If not, it's okay. I did my 1. I'm good. Yeah. There's nobody, I didn't fail anybody, right? The world did not end, right? But sometimes, I talked about this on Twitter Space last week, sometimes we create these imaginary futures of doom that unfortunately affect our current real behavior. We sometimes imagine imaginary futures of doom. They don't exist. It's all up here. But they're so strong and so vivid and so emotionally charged, they affect our real behavior in the moment. And so what I'm encouraging people to do is take control of your right now moment and start with some simple, smart goals. 1 for learning, 1 for networking. You will have a great conference.
Lawrence is trying to get us out of your comfort zones because that's where the growth comes. That is absolutely where the growth comes. And again, if you're not maximizing the whole thing.
This is 35 pounds. This is what I curl. This is what I've been curling for 2 years. You know what?
Me.
My muscle has not grown in 2 years.
Yeah.
Because it's comfortable. I can do this all day. It would take like 100 for me to fail. This is a real weight. This is real. Where is it? 35. There's no discomfort. So I'm not going to grow. So it's not even reasonable for me to expect to grow when I know I've just been doing the same damn thing forever. I have to do more. I might not want to. It might be painful. It might take me completely out of anything I've experienced. But if the goal is growth, I've got to do more. And no one can make me do more. And fortunately, no one is stopping me from doing more but me. And so I have to take the imagined horror of the future and say, you're not going to stop me from growing, whether it's a muscle or a relationship or a job or a promotion or asking for a raise or going to another job or starting a business or getting a client. An imaginary horrible future is not going to stop my current real behavior. That right there that's a mantra.
Heck yeah. I love that.
It's fine, but I will not let an imaginary bad future stop my current real behavior. That's a mantra right there.
Ooh, soundbite. We just got a soundbite right there.
Capture it. TikTok.
Yep, capture it. Let's talk about the sponsor area, the tables, the vendors, the hallway track, if you will. It's not really a hallway here. It's
well, there's hallway track and then there's sponsors. So that's
it's two different things. Well, let's talk about the sponsor area.
All right, cool.
Because I think that there's a right way and a wrong way to approach all of that as well. I want to look at it, but let's talk about it from the perspective of a potential somebody that's looking for a role. They're coming here, they're looking for a role. There are tons of sponsors in this area. What are like some of the best ways to go into that area as someone looking for a role?
So I went really, really high level on the last question. I'm gonna keep this one super simple. Number one, research the companies. RenderATL has all of their exhibiting sponsors listed in the app. By the way, get the app. There's notifications on the app and people are missing it. It's so sad. Get the app. Go through the sponsor list. Take an afternoon instead of watching Netflix, instead of playing on your Switch. I know it's new, it's shiny, it's fun. Go through the sponsor list. Look them up. See which companies are doing things you might like to do. Don't worry about the technology. Presumably, if you learned one language, you can learn another. But look at what they're doing. Look at their webpage. Look at their blog. Look at their YouTube. Make some analysis about which companies are sponsoring could you potentially see yourself in. That goes at the top of some list. For me, it would be a Google Sheet because everything I do is either Google Sheet or here. You use whatever list you want. I don't care. That's the top of your list. So if there's 50 sponsors, maybe there's 5 or 6 that are top of your list. And so when you go to the expo hall, right, because part of your scheduling of your week has to be when is your expo time. Schedule that. Make it a point. If you need a job, then schedule when I'm going to go try to get a job. Top of your list. And preferably in the morning because you're more high energy, more than likely, right? You just had your food, your hydration, your coffee, you're ready. You've got your pitch ready. You got your resume ready. You have your LinkedIn ready. You're polished. You have your pitch ready, your intro statement, and you go to those first. You literally just hit one after the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, 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 boom. Now, the rest of the conference, you just go to the other ones that weren't on your really list because you want to give them a chance. You never know who you might run into. You might be surprised. So go to every single booth, but be sure you go to the ones that you've personally determined, I can kind of see myself here. I like what they're working on, or I like this team, or I like the way they communicate, or I like the fact they haven't gotten rid of their DE&I initiatives. I like this company. That goes that's your short list. You hit them first. The same way they have a short list when they're trying to hire, you have a short list when you're trying to get hired. And you hit those first, one after the. I would do it all in one shot because it's probably only going to be like 5 or 6. Hit those companies first. Don't worry about where the lines are. Don't worry about what booth looks cute or has the coolest games. Hit your list of where you want to work with your energy, with your intention, with your pitch, with your resume on hand. You should be able to one click and get to your LinkedIn, one click and get to your resume from your phone. Have that ready. And then when you finish those, do all the rest, right? The ones you didn't research. Because, again, you never know what you might find. I went to a very random booth last year, and I didn't follow up. Man, all right, follow-up is a thing. But I made a connection with someone who wanted to collaborate with me. This was back when I was with Vada. They wanted to collaborate, do some sessions and do some things together, do some lives together, build together. And that was me just going to the booth, just going to a random booth. There was nobody in line. It wasn't one of the real big, cute, like, because there'll be some awesome, amazing booths. Zillow brought like a whole house last year. It was crazy. This was not a house. It was just a table of people. But I made a connection with someone who knew me from online content, back to your point. And they said, we should collaborate sometime. Here's my personal email. I was like, look at God.
Look at that. I love that. We got a lot of people chiming in here. If
there's questions, be sure to throw. I can't keep up.
I know.
I'm looking at the sky and my ceiling and throwing my hands everywhere. So.
Somebody brought up a QR code, and I do have a question as far as like what your thoughts are on physical resumes. Bringing a physical resume. Do you think that people should bring an actual paper resume in 2025? Because honestly, a few people have said it.
You know what? It would set you apart. They would not forget your name. Now, the question is, would it be a positive association or a negative association? 90% plus of every single sponsor there who is interested in getting a candidate will want something digitally.
Yeah.
And so, again, I like One Tap. I don't have mine set up just yet. Again, I'm not even in the market right now. But I always have a One Tap where I can get to my LinkedIn, pull up the barcode, we can make a connection there. But I also typically will have my resume as a Google Doc with a link on my phone. So if I need to send it to somebody, I can one-click it, send as or share as. Everything I do is in Google, and it'll go right to my Gmail, and I can just say, what's your email? Boom. 10 seconds, ready to go.
Yeah, put your resume on your shirt. I love that.
Winning. And that's hey, people do things like that, right? Yeah. Bring a resume, wear a resume, QR codes. I've seen the new digital business cards and things. There's lots of things you can do. But at the bare minimum, again, we're thinking about audience. So, part of a message has to consider audience. The majority of your audience, the majority of the sponsoring exhibitors will be looking for something digital. The ones that I did fill out last year, just for the sake of being in the process of filling out applications and sending resumes, they're all digital. Hey, fill out this form, go to this touchpad, that kind of thing. I don't want anything physical.
Yeah, we so I
plus you don't want to look like an amateur.
No, you really don't.
Even if you're in college, like coming up with your little crumpled up resume in your hand, and you're so proud of it because you're so proud because you got it in your little folder, you got it printed from Office Max and the thick cute paper. They're gonna look at you like, boy, you gotta go back home.
Yeah, I mean, it's in this day and age with the amount of attendees that are going to be at a place like this, you want like quick and notable like access with these people. A QR code is a great idea. I actually had written out something last week and then realized Kelly Vaughn actually made one that's phenomenal. And
Kelly's been building a lot of stuff. Shout out to Kelly.
It's right there. I actually reached out to her because I saw it. I was like, we built the same app. I was like, but I have contacts in there. So you can actually put contacts in, and we decided to build this together. So if you check that out, we're going to push an update this afternoon that has contact form in there. So you can put who you meet, yada, yada, but all the QR code stuff's in there. But thank you for the resume point.
Nice.
We might add that as well.
Connect with me. Show it one more time. Connect with me.
I actually sent it to your DMs too. It's connectwithme.at. Well, there you go.
There
you go. It should work fine, and you can then save it to your wallpaper and use it, and it will send them to whatever socials or connections you want. But I like the resume. Right. But let's talk about as far as networking at like this. And again, touch points with so many people. Like, how do you approach networking at an event of this size?
Great question. So the same way you say people come at different levels for the conference, there's different types of networking. I start with a base thought. This is Lawrence now. This is Lawrence. A base thought of, let me just go make some friends. I have somebody who wants to collaborate with me right now. I'm not going to say the name because I'm not sure if it's going to happen or not. They want to collaborate about some of the things we're doing with BeFree SDK that I mentioned earlier and a company's API that he works with. We think we can get them to connect and do some really cool things, almost agentic-like, but not with AI, more like just automations. And our networking is just because we're friends. We're friends, but people like working with people who they like.
Yeah.
People like working with people who they like. So my base approach is, let me go make some friends. Now in the process, I take away a lot of the stringent requirements that we have when we think about professional networking. And I need to, do a firm handshake and maintain eye contact and follow all these rules. I'm going to make a friend. I want to be a regular, normal guy and say hi and ask more questions than I offer information. Because that gives me a chance to learn about the other person, to dig deeper into them, and quite personally keep them talking because I don't like talking a lot. It's hard to tell here, but we're on a podcast. You asked me to come talk, but in a session like that, I really don't like talking a lot.
Yeah.
So I want to listen more. So I need to be able to solicit questions. As I'm soliciting the questions and I'm listening, I'm determining where might this relationship go. This might be a right here and that's it. This might be a good buddy for the week. This might be somebody I need to connect with professionally because who knows where might this might go down the road. Every connection is important. Every connection is important. But my approach is not, I don't approach it like networking. I think there's just a stigma there. Like here's my business card and I'm the chief of sales and these long intros. I hate long intros. Oh God. If anybody wants to cringe me out this week, introduce yourself to me and just give me a long intro. You will see my face just contort.
Well, let me ask you that then.
Yeah.
What is a long intro? And this kind of also relates, we can circle back to the pitch. What's your elevator pitch? Like in your mind, what do you think is a long intro?
Anything over a couple of sentences, because most of my meetings, so this is different from the expo table. So we're away from the expo table now. So we did expo. So now we're doing hallway track. And for those that haven't heard the phrase, it is often said that the most popular track or the most beneficial track at a conference is the hallway track, meaning not the actual sessions you're sitting in, but just walking through the hallway.
Yep. And
you will have thousands upon thousands of people that you pass. My encouragement is assume everyone is someone who can be valuable to you. Everyone. You shouldn't just like let a whole bunch of people pass because they're walking around. Just stop somebody and say, hey, how's it going? And they say, good, how are you? Oh, I'm good. Lawrence from Memphis. Oh, so I'm from so-so. Oh, cool. What you here for? And we just start talking. So I don't need to pitch anything. But now I know what I want them to know about me. Where I'm from, what I'm doing, my history with the conference, my content portion. So last year I was sliding in some stuff about TopMate because I'm doing a lot of mentoring there. My TopMate hasn't been on in months, so I'm not going to mention that. But I know what I want you to know. I just don't have to give it to you all at once. That's not how people have conversations. And there's people who do that because we've given them this thing about elevator pitch. Elevator pitch is for the sponsor table.
Yeah.
Because they have limited time, thousands of people to talk to. So you want them to get the most important things about you in that moment quickly, and hopefully something that has a little pizzazz to it so they pay attention more. You sound a little different from everybody else. Elevator pitches for the sponsor table. Hallway track, meeting random people, please do not elevator pitch them.
There you go. Nice.
Just make friends. Be a normal freaking person, not an oddball. So let's meet each other, Jason. All right? We don't know each other. All right? You're going one way. We need to example this because people don't know. Yeah. They really don't know. And so who's going to go first?
Oh, here, I'll go first. All right. I'm walking. Hey, what's up? Were you just at the talk in there?
Yeah, I was.
Nice. I'm Jason, by the way. Which speaker was that? I missed it.
Oh man, that's the Kelsey Hightower, and I'm Lawrence, by the way. And he is the mentor of all mentors, the god of Kubernetes, and he's already retired. So I'm trying to get where he is. How about you?
God, I was at another talk that was super interesting because it's more related to what I do. But I'm really bummed that I missed Kelsey because I always miss his talks.
That's horrible. But what do you do though?
Oh, I'm actually a community manager over at Torque.dev. What are you a developer?
I'm a developer by trade, but I'm a developer advocate, so also someone in the community space. So we should collaborate.
I think we should as well. Here's my LinkedIn.
Further, let me just pull up my LinkedIn. Do you mind if we connect on LinkedIn?
Oh, absolutely. I love LinkedIn.
Because I finally figured out how to go to the search bar and hit the QR code. And there's my QR code. So you can scan it real quick.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get my phone pulled. Okay, there's my camera. Perfect.
Awesome. Jason Torres.
That is me. That is me. Yeah, we should definitely connect. I love meeting developers, and I would love to hear more about what you do because we're always looking for collaboration opportunities as well. So
now you mentioned community. You guys have like a community where you talk, like a Slack or a Discord or anything?
Yeah, I actually run the Discord. We have a bunch of people in there. So if you're a chatty one, feel free to drop in. I can shoot you the message over LinkedIn. You're a listener. I like that too. We need listeners to listen to the talkers, so it's the perfect blend in there. I can send you the link on your LinkedIn though if you want to shoot me a connect. We can catch up. Well, nice. I'll let you area. I'm going over to not Danny Thompson. Angie Jones is talking next. Actually,
she's my fave. Oh, hey, I'll walk with you.
Let's go.
Boom.
There it is.
How long did that take?
Like maybe a minute.
We know where we work, what we're interested in. I've connected with his community. It's that easy.
Yeah.
And there was no pitch. Angie. There was no pitch.
No.
There was nothing. There's nothing odd about it. Just Humans being humans.
Yeah.
Most people who suck at networking are sucking at networking because they don't know how to make friends anymore. And so I would suggest, now it's only 2 days before Render, and actually RenderATL week, what do they call it? Atlanta Tech Week
Yep.
has already started. But what I would suggest for people in that situation is like last week, go to like a coffee shop or a juice bar once a day, every day, and just go meet a stranger. Some of us have just forgotten how to meet people, just how to be human.
Yeah.
And despite all of our labels, the many labels, and I'll give you some labels that I have, we are mammals. We are social creatures by our very genes. It's in you to connect with others. Even if it makes you cringe and feel weird, I promise you, you are genetically wired to connect with other people. You're just out of practice. You're just out of practice. So go get some practice. Before you go to the conference, just go to McDonald's and chat up the cashier. All right, go to Starbucks, and you see the little barista who doesn't have a good, not have, just chat her up. Chat her up. I used to hate like the old guy who would be in line and would start talking to me. I'm like, why are you talking to me? I don't want to talk to you. I don't know you. And then I learned it wasn't him that was the problem. It was me who had a problem with communication. And when I got to be a better communicator, and you want to chat me up in line about some random topic, long as it's not too crazy, I'll chat you up because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to interact way past conferences and tech and all this. We're supposed to connect. We're built that way. And when you make that part of who you are as a person, you can transfer that to something like a RenderATL Tech Conference and anything else.
Yeah, I mean, these kind of micro achievements are so important. It's, people that are going for whatever their intention is, just stepping out of that comfort zone and growing. You have a couple of these conversations. I mean, it might have looked or felt awkward to have us just do that role play to some, but that's practice. That's warming up. Like that's prepping for success in a place like this is always going to be the best way. You don't want to just go into it blind. You don't want to go into it cold. It's so important. So
I mentioned how I go into it just thinking I want to make friends. Like I just think that I want to make some friends.
Yeah.
The other thing is most people here want to connect with somebody. See, when you're an introvert like me and shy, what you think is they don't know me. They don't want to know me. I'll probably say something stupid. I don't get up here and God, do I have to use the bathroom? Like you start thinking all these crazy things.
Yeah.
But the real fact is most people there want to talk with somebody. And if you see a person off to themselves, kind of buried in their phone, they're probably feeling the same thing that you are. Great person to say, hey, want to chat for a minute? I don't know. Who are you? Great question. I'm Lawrence. Crack a joke. Like I'm awkward, introverted, and burning my phone too. But you know what? I paid too much for this conference to go home not knowing anybody. How you doing? Where you? And you just get it started. Make some friends. Most people there, not everybody. No, there's some buttholes in every group, but most people there want to meet other people, and they definitely want to have a good time. Like nobody's going to the rooftop on Thursday or Wednesday night to have a bad time. They all want to have a good time. They want to eat, they want to drink, they want to dance, they want to play the games, they want to have a good time. So go meet other people.
Yeah, it's again kind of one of the biggest reasons you go to these types of things. Like of those three that you had mentioned, meeting people and networking and growing. And networking again I'm not saying it in the context of again might be a role, might be somebody I'm going to work with later. Just networking is like interacting with other humans, just being another human talking to another human, and building those relationships. I mean, I don't have as much of a problem being extroverted, but I am also introverted. I think just because of all the isolation we've had over the last few years, my social battery has depleted. So I get that. And it is just as much work.
Let's talk about that. And so yours is recent, right? You said isolated. By the way, highlight Chris's comment right there. Chris is hilarious. But Chris, what's his name? Chris. Oh, I lost
Chris Lane Jones.
Jones, yeah.
Which one is it?
Yeah. The last one. This is the last one. There you go. That guy's wild. For those that don't know, first of all, there's 4 different rooftop parties and events this year. And the main one is on Ponce de Leon. It's a humongous rooftop, tall building.
Massive.
And it's a great time. There's music and there's very long lines for drinks. They also had a drone show for us, so it's a great time. But there were a lot of people. But to your point, back to introversion, I think we might have an introvert or two in the crowd. And you mentioned yours is recent. Mine is not recent. I've been like this my entire life. There is no time that I've been around a lot of people for an extended period of time and felt good. I feel tired. I feel drained. I feel like I'm running. This is going to sound crazy. I literally feel like I'm running out of words. It's a weird thing. And so how do I go to RenderATL and have a good time every year? I pace myself.
Yes.
I pace myself. On my calendar, in the times that I don't have bolded, I always give myself the permission. If I'm not feeling people right now, I will hop in my car because I always rent a car, and I will go back to my hotel. I'll hit the pool. I'll watch TV, scroll YouTube, take a nap. I will just do me for a few hours until I recharge my literal social battery, because I don't want people to see me when I turn into the Hulk. Like, y'all have a completely different, you have a certain impression of me right now. Let me turn into the Hulk. I'll be as green as my LED lights. You don't want to see the Hulk. So when I feel that starting to come up a little bit, I get the hell out of Dodge, because that's how I navigate it for me.
Yeah.
And then when I show back up, it might not be till 8 o'clock at night on the roof, but then I'm energetic again, and I'm fun, and I'm nice to meet, and I'm that guy again. I'm the one that you know and love, and I'm good for networking and meeting, and a person you want to be around. And so I haven't caused any bad feelings, and so I don't have any bad feelings coming back to me. Now that's how I navigate it. But the point is, everyone can find a way. The introvert, the extrovert, the ambivert, the shy, the awkward, the everything in between, the gregarious one, the frat boy, the sorority girl, the nerd. There's a space for everybody.
Yeah.
And there is no perfect way, but there is a way. You have to figure out how to navigate these spaces for yourself. Get on the app, figure out your sessions, get on the Discord, start meeting people, search Render on Twitter without the hashtag of the @ organize it by latest so you can see the conversations, jump in conversations, maybe meet a person or two before the conference. So you have a buddy right when you walk in the door.
Yeah.
Right? And particularly people who just don't know anybody or kind of intimidated by all of this, because it is a lot. It is a lot. Just get into Discord. You see somebody says something that doesn't sound completely crazy, say, hey, I like that comment. Can we meet? Like, they're going to say yes or no. If they say no, find somebody else. Like, there's more fish in the sea. There's more fish in the Render Sea. Find you a buddy prior to the conference. You can literally do pre-gaming online before the conference starts on Twitter, on Discord. You can pre-game and met with people. Theo, no comment. No comment. But you can pre-game and meet people before the conference, so you have a buddy once you get there. And since I said that, let me go ahead and put this out there, because fun fact, as much as I pump Render, this year I have no official title. I'm not sure if I mentioned that or not. I'm not a speaker. I'm not an ambassador.
No, you didn't.
Nothing. Now, my organization, Co-Connector, we were accepted as a community partner, which means we gave free tickets out in exchange for social media and stuff like that. But I don't have an official title. I'm just me. And so for all of my fellow introverted, awkward, I don't know about talking to all these strange people, it seems like, oh, here's one. If you can relate to this, I want you to meet me. It seems like everybody's already in circles and they know everybody, but I don't know anybody. If that's you, I'm your friend. If you see my face, just come say hi. I will not make you feel weird. I promise you, because I know that feeling when you walk in a room and it seems like there's these pockets of people and they're all laughing and drinking and having a great time, and nobody knows you and you know no one, and no one's like opening up the circle. I know that feeling. I'm your guy. I promise you, I will not diss you nor make you feel weird. Just come bug me.
That is an interesting spot to be in, and I bet that there are some people here that are coming to their a conference for the first time ever. They don't really know anybody. So Lawrence says he has your back. Everybody can.
I'm your guy.
Attest. I will. If you see either of us, just come up to us. I will probably introduce you to who I'm talking to, and then walk away, because that's just kind of my thing. Because I like to connect people. Like, I want you to have a conversation independent of me. But again, stepping out of your comfort zone and doing those things. So for somebody that is coming for a first time like that, again, start doing the legwork now. Start meeting people in Render's Discord or just on socials. Like Lawrence said, Lawrence, for the people that for the people that have never been to a conference before, what's one thing from Render that you absolutely suggest they do?
Well, I mentioned one already. You have to see Kelsey Hightower's talk. So Kelsey Hightower gave part 1 of one of the most epic talks of all time, digging into technical information, his career, ups and downs, funny moments, sad moments. It was touching. We laughed, we cried. He gave part 1 of that address last year. He's giving part 2 this year. Be early. Much of the render marketing, there is a particular shot, and it's the front row, of the left side of the front row of his talk. And you see me with my mouth open, laughing uncontrollably. My wife is more like, but I'm laughing because I was just so into the moment. He is a great speaker. You want to be early for Kelsey's talk. So when we finish the stream, go on the app, because you've downloaded the app. There's an iOS and an Android version. Download the app. Find Kelsey's talk. Find what room it is. Find what time it is, and make whatever. Just be there 15 minutes early, because the worst thing in the world would be to be there. You want to hear from him, and you can barely get in, or you're way in the back. Like, be up front. Be up front. It's like a concert. Be up front. So that would be number 1. Definitely do that. If you can meet Justin, right, he'll be running around. But if you can meet Justin, you want to meet Justin Samuels, right? Humble brother, love that guy. He is the visionary. He is the one behind RenderATL. I was fortunate. The year before Render started, I heard Justin speak at Magnolia JS, which was a conference about JavaScript in Jackson, Mississippi. And I think part of that conference kind of spurred the idea that I can do this in Atlanta and take it up a notch. And so like 2 years later, or a year or two later, whatever, he launched RenderATL. Meet him. Just ask him about his vision and where it's going next and how to do things. He won't have a lot of time because he has a lot to do. But if you can meet Justin, he'll always have curly hair. I'm not curly, but colored hair.
Colored hair.
Might be like pink and blue this year. I don't know. But meet the colored hair guy. Those are 2 absolute musts. And just have fun. Just have fun. There are too many opportunities. I don't know any. I've been to Google I/O. I've been to Microsoft Build. I've been to AWS Summit. I've been to company retreats in Spain, company retreats in Finland, all hands in Germany. Nothing compares to RenderATL. If you go ahead and decide you want to have a great time, you plan it that way, and you open yourself up to making friends and learning. There's nothing else like RenderATL. It just doesn't exist.
Dang. What I just want to end it right there. I feel like there's no other way to do it.
Kelsey.
So was I.
I was on the front row, and I was so animated. Poor guy sitting behind me. I know I elbowed him in the guts like 15 times because I was just loud and country, and it just fit. It just fit. It was just so good.
I don't remember. Let's also talk maybe just about speaker or room or attending a talk etiquette. Because when you were just talking about Kelsey, it reminded me, I was sitting next to Kelly Vaughn in a talk, and I don't remember who it was, but her and I were just chatting, and maybe we got a little bit too loud. Someone turned back and shushed us. We were in the back in the main area. I know, but we ended up leaving because like I felt bad. But let's talk about that a little bit. Like, is it okay to walk out of a talk?
Oh, certainly. I don't think Render's that formal and stiff at all. Now, the talking in, the noise in, go by the temperament of the speaker is the best thing you can do. Kelsey gave a performance. Yeah. And so out loud, laughing, cheering, talking, it made sense. Leon hit so many emotional buttons that there were a lot of times we were like literally me and I was sitting by Sean's partner, Naya. We were like, hey man, go ahead, brother. Like we were out, like it was in church. Yeah. But go by the temperament. Some people, that's not their culture. Yeah. So again, I mentioned the African American influence, everything. That's part of our culture. But if the speaker is not reflecting that culture, let the speaker dictate the pace of the room. Give them that respect. Yeah. You'll probably be able to mete out what kind of interaction they're wanting for them. They're not giving you that loud energy, give it back to me, then don't be in the back acting a clown. So let the speaker be the guy who will be the most respectful thing. Yeah.
Read the room. Be self-aware.
Boom. Read the room.
For the record, we were not being that loud, just to be clear. But Kelly was actually like,
right. Yeah,
what?
Right. No, and they come on. You. They out loud shush you. Whose talk was it? Now I'm nosy. I'm invested.
I bet Kelly knows. I'll text her and I'll let
I know
you
it wasn't
because I'm
Kelsey,
sure
we
she
were loud.
remembers.
I know it wasn't Leon's because we were really, really loud.
I will. I'll text her because I was just talking to her earlier, and I'll let you know because there's a funny story around it too. Who actually shushed us? So, but I'm not gonna.
Oh man, this is a whole.
Yeah.
That's
it's a whole thing.
That's another stream. All right.
Yeah. But any last tips that you want to give everybody, and then we'll wrap up here. Thank you again for spending an hour with us. I feel like this could have gone longer, but I feel like you had so many good notes.
So fast. Did I hit everything?
Probably
I'll just do a recap. I'll do a recap.
Yeah.
Plan your sessions, both deep and wide. Plan the expo sponsors you want to speak to. Who is your short list? Go them first when you have high energy, then hit the rest. Have your LinkedIn, your pitch, and your resume ready digitally. Go with the intention of making friends. Assume the majority of the people there want to connect with people. Don't connect with individuals with a pitch. Just talk to them like a normal human being. Do have your pitch ready for the expo tables.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun. Pace yourself. Yeah. You don't have to do what someone else does. Somebody might say, and it might even be a buddy. They're like, oh, you got to come to so-and-so at 6 o'clock. It is nothing wrong with saying, thanks for the invite. That sounds great. I am out of energy. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a nap, but I would love to meet you tomorrow morning at 9. Is that cool? You figure out how to pace yourself to have the best time you can have, and that'll be a win. Yeah. See y'all at Render.
Be okay with saying no and have fun.
Believe in your dreams. You know what? I was not that fluffy. Believe in your dreams. Who is that? I'm blocking him or her.
So for the record, it was Kelsey's talk, by the way.
No!
Kelly just text me. Yeah.
Shout out to Render. We loud.
Shout out to Render, guys.
We are loud.
Well, hey, we'll see everybody tomorrow. When do you get in tomorrow, Lawrence?
No. I don't make it till Wednesday.
Oh, you'll be there Wednesday.
Yeah,
okay.
Just the way things work, because I'm working today, I'm working tomorrow, and kind of a little bit Wednesday, but I'll get in about midday. So I think my first session will be like around 1:45, and then I'll start some evening stuff.
Awesome.
And then bright and early. Awesome. Be early. No, I'm not gonna say that because things are different this year. Anyway, see y'all in Atlanta.
We'll see you guys in Atlanta.
And hey, anybody who's here on the Discord, if any of this helped you and you're in the Discord, please let me know. Or if this sucked, right? I can take that feedback. I'm an OG. I have no toes.
There you go.
Just tell
Lawrence is in our Discord and the Render Discord. Feel free to reach out to him. Yeah. Feel free to reach out to me. And I'll be back at 3:30 with Rizal because we're gonna hang out on stream as well today. I know. Shout out to
all the
Rizal.
best people.
Then
you got me.
Stop. I got a great day. I got you and her. So
we'll talk soon. We out.
Everybody.